I have to pee. I do.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody. We're going to be sitting here for another hour, like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I have to pee. I don't know if you guys know that. If I
did not plan that well.
If I get up in the middle of the broadcast and go somewhere, it's because I have to pee. Just so everybody knows. Okay. Real quick, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. Make sure that you do that because you got to go to YouTube, click the little subscribe button, and do that. So if you haven't done that already, what are you doing with your life? Do it.
And why? Because there's stuff out there that you're not seeing.
Right.
If you're watching our show, it's not enough. You're not getting enough of us.
Our shorts. Is that derogatory to call them shorts? Is it mean?
No, that's what they're literally called.
They're shorts. I mean, that's what they're not to be confused with horse shorts.
And not to be confused with schlongs.
That's
totally
right.
Different thing.
But we got a lot of cool shorts out there that you guys aren't seeing. So you should go check that out. Subscribe. Do it today. Also, you only get one retirement. Did you know that?
Just one.
You get one. And a lot of you out there, I know you're going to live to be 100, 105. A lot of longevity out there. Are you ready? Because, I mean, seems like a lot of work. You got to have a lot of money out there. So schedule your free risk review now at knowyourriskradio.com with our friend Zach. He's going to help you out. Okay? Do it.
Do it. Do it. Somebody's already sent us a super sticker. Paula Johnson, thank you very much. Paula says, it is very sus that Joe Biden suddenly wants to debate. No earbuds, Joe. Not allowed. You are on your own.
Yeah, I'm kind of
get to about that.
I'm thinking about that too. Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
We got a lot to get to on the debate front. And of course, we will do that. But first, a couple of pieces of celebrity news, if we may. Because I was sitting in the middle of a Jimmy John's last night when I get a text from you that has a headline from the New York Post screaming that J-Lo and Ben Affleck are Splitsville again. And what was the first thing I said? And then I was like, I am going to all the hell.
Basically, she was like, I'm kind of delighted about this. In so many words. You're like,
I mean, what I said was, is it bad that I kind of hope that this is true?
I mean, listen, I gave them 6 months, so I'm going straight to hell with you if that's the case. I gave them 6 months, you guys. To my dismay and shock, they've been together for 2 years already.
Married?
Yeah, I think it's been 2 years. I saw on Daily Mail this morning that I can't believe it's been that long. I feel like
that's long for her.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is like the longest relationship she's ever had.
But
2 years.
You guys, the original source reporting on this is from In Touch magazine. So it's very...
Still believe it.
I mean, it's, and then when Daily Mail posted this morning, they were saying it's been 7 weeks since they have been pictured together. And she's looking for a house. She was house hunting the other day.
Look at his face. He's constantly miserable, this guy.
I know, right?
Look at him. And I mean, could you live with her?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And there was she came out with some Amazon Prime movie called The Greatest Love Story Never Told. And she forced him to do that. Nobody gives a crap, lady. Nobody cares about your love story. It's like when you have to tell everybody we're so in love, that means that you're not. You're screaming for attention. She does it all for the gram. She does it all for social media. She does it all for attention and PR. She's a media whore.
Yeah. And he doesn't seem to favor the spotlight. And so
he just wants to drink,
Right. Anyway, I don't know if it's true, but those are the rumors that are floating right now. So we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what marriage this is for her. If this is number 5.
I think it's number. She's like Elizabeth Tayloring it. At
this she's been engaged many, 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 many times, but married, I think this is the 5th. It's the 4th or 5th, I think.
Yeah. After number 3, you don't get to wear a white dress. She wore one of those. I mean, I'm sorry. I have thoughts about that.
She's got to stop.
Just stop.
She's got to stop.
Just stop it.
And then in one other piece of interesting celebrity news, Stevie Wonder, who is 74 years old, has just moved to Ghana and attained citizenship there and plans to live out the rest of his years in Ghana.
Okay. All right.
Do with that what you will.
I don't have any thoughts on that whatsoever. I don't.
I know. I don't really have.
I will say though, I really do love his music. I've been kind of on a Stevie Wonder kick.
Oh yeah,
I do.
He's brilliant musician.
Love his stuff.
Melissa Bland on Venmo, thank you very much. She said, "It is my 55th birthday today, and listening to you ladies is my birthday treat. Love you, gals.
Happy birthday,
Melissa. Happy birthday indeed." Was it yesterday that we were talking about the Chiefs kicker, Harrison Butker, and his commencement speech at Benedictine? Or was it Benedictine or Franciscan now?
Franciscan,
I can't remember.
I think. Franciscan?
I think it was Benedictine, and it was Alito that spoke at Franciscan. Because I know we've mentioned both of those.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we actually appreciated his speech very, very much. His commencement address was amazing. Mm-hmm. And then, so I was shocked to discover, not really shocked, but shocked to discover that now there's a whole bunch of people that are super, super mad about it. And they have started a petition that has now, contrary to this headline, it has actually reached 80,000 signatures. This is a petition to have him dismissed from the team because of his speech being, quote, sexist, homophobic, anti-trans, anti-abortion, and racist.
Petitions are stupid.
So dumb.
Aren't they stupid? I signed a piece of paper and I want him to go away. It's like, shut up. And how is he anti-trans? How is he racist? How is he racist?
Well, it was very, very much in passing. I mean, not in passing, but like he mentioned how he said something about how the LGBTQ whole lifestyle is a sin or whatever. Okay. He's speaking as a Catholic to a Catholic university.
Okay, but what about racism? How is he racist? How was he racist?
Was the example that they gave for racism? I can't remember.
Did he get up on stage and say, "I hate black people"? Did he do that?
No, I'm fairly certain he did not do that.
I'm pretty sure he didn't do that. Yeah. So I mean, now they're just making crap up. Yeah. So okay, well, these people who signed the petition are anti-Catholic. They're anti-religious. They're anti-religious freedom.
Well, they are, because his speech was perfect for the time and place that he gave it. Yeah. And that's what they cannot figure out. And so now the NFL has had to come out and they've had to be like, he doesn't mirror our values. So they've released a big statement, which you'll see. This was the most amazing, ridiculous tirade against it from that ridiculous mommy blog, Scary Mommy.
I hate Scary Mommy. They're the worst. Yeah, they're
you guys, listen to how they describe it. So they say, quote, in a speech that would have made any commander in Gilead beam with pride, Kansas City Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker took his opportunity to speak to the recent grads of Catholic University Benedictine College, where he spewed some wildly ignorant BS. Sporting a very January 6th-ish haircut.
Whatever that is. Okay.
Butker took the moment that should have been about the students to go in on Pride Month, women in the workforce, President Biden, COVID-19, IVF, and abortion. He addressed the women in the audience, arguing that their most important title should be that of homemaker. Imagine sitting through his disgusting speech at your graduation after working so hard for your degree, excited about what the future holds, and then have this loser tell you that you're probably going to end up barefoot and pregnant, so you did all this for nothing. They did not listen to the massive applause at that part of his speech by the women that were also in that audience.
Mm-hmm. And there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. Because here's the thing about his speech is, and we talked about this the other day, it's in America, you get to have a choice of what you want to do when you're a woman. You have choices. As opposed to other countries who I bet Scary Mommy is probably a big fan of, like Palestine and all the blue hairs at these campuses now who are like, yay, free Palestine. There are not a lot of choices when you live in places like that. But here in America, we have them. Mm-hmm. Isn't that a beautiful thing that we get to choose what we want to do? Isn't it a beautiful thing that you can actually raise businesses and babies? Isn't that great? Because we did it. And it's
fine for women to prioritize being a wife and being a mother. That is a choice, and it is a fine choice. And in the world of Catholicism, it's the choice to make, right? So again, the time and the place was completely appropriate. I cannot believe people are wasting their time trying to get him kicked off of a football team because he spoke to Catholics about being Catholic. Like, what in the world? That just makes zero sense. But what does make sense are these. Not my legs, but
she's very bendy. Her legs also make sense, you guys. She's got some gams.
Not anymore.
Not does.
These gams are failing me. But look at you guys. Can you see the fabric? I know it's hard. I know it's hard to see. It is the softest fabric ever. And their joggers. They have like the whole set of joggers. On the down low, like I have these on almost every day.
Oh my God, I love mine. I love them. I wear them out. Okay.
That's the thing.
I mean, I don't know about where you're moving to, but where I live, I'm like, I'm stepping it up fashion wise when I wear those out. Okay. I can wear them to the Dollar General and people are like, is that Cindy Crawford? Just saying.
That it's true though, because they're very appropriate for being out and about. They're nice. Like, it's a nice set of joggers, and the material, I cannot stop like rubbing on my own legs because it's so soft. And no matter what the weather is, I feel comfortable because of their temperature regulating properties. That's the beauty of Cozy Earth. This is a like splurge item. And so if you want to treat yourself, or like if you're going on vacation this summer, like this is the best packable stuff ever to travel in, but also to lounge in while you're on vacation. So you cannot get more comfortable than this if you're traveling. And you can rest easy in your loungewear from Cozy Earth on vacation. And here's the best part. When you use the code COZYCHICKS, you are going to save 35% at checkout. I know it is a lot. Yeah. At CozyEarth.com/CozyChicks. You should check out their bedding, especially if you're looking for an unusual but very appropriate present for Father's Day. Guys got to sleep. You know what I'm saying? True. It's not just moms that want luxury bedding. Dads appreciate it too. So think about that potential gift for Father's Day. Again, the website CozyEarth.com/CozyChicks. And then you're going to use that same code, CozyChicks, to get your 35% off discount. Treat yourself.
Jose's like, do both legs, but calm down, Jose. He wants you to do both legs. And then John Stevenson's like, Mom wore pants today.
I know, it's unusual, right? It's very odd. Very odd. Irene Curtis says, I am done with the NFL if he gets canceled. Yeah, let's get back to this story, because the NFL did release a statement saying that they wanted to make it clear that unlike, the kicker, they don't believe any of that same stuff. And they're trying to distance themselves essentially. So they said Harrison gave a speech in his personal capacity. His views are not those of the NFL as an organization. The NFL is steadfast in our commitment to inclusion, which only makes our league stronger. Yeah. So that was their response.
Tim Tebow treatment, right? Remember when Tim Tebow, he's like, hi, I'm a devout Christian and I'm going to be out. I'm going to just be open about that. And people are like, we can't have that.
It's ridiculous.
Absolutely Christian ridiculous. In America. I mean, you can only be all the other religions openly. You can't be Christian.
Imagine being offended by that speech and then thinking it's fine for all these campus protesters to be like, from the river to the sea.
Right. This is exactly what I'm saying. This is the thing. They push these other agendas and it's totally fine. It's totally fine. And we talked about this yesterday on the show, where those cultures are trash. I'm sorry if you're offended by that. But you talk about women being treated like garbage.
Right?
I mean, they're upset about women being solely homemakers. How about women not being able to drive or swim or being sold at age 5 to a grown man? I don't know. I feel like being a homemaker is better. Just a hunch.
Well, Lord. You are a bigot, obviously.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And then meanwhile, there was an article from Fox yesterday about how George Soros has reportedly spent $80 million calling for censorship ahead of the November elections. And this was MRC, Media Research Center, they did a whole study about this, that there's a report where you can read this at Fox News about how the extent that he's going to try to censor opinions that he doesn't agree with. And then I wake up to this interesting thing. So check this out, you guys. Yesterday, I tweeted, or 2 days ago, I tweeted this. It was a retweet, right, of a Fox News headline that said UN revised their Gaza death toll. We talked about that on the show. Almost 50% less women and children killed than previously reported. And right. Marina Medvin had retweeted that saying, well, there goes the idea of a genocide. And I retweeted it just saying the word, oh, that's it. YouTube gave us a strike for that, because our team posted that as a post on YouTube. And I wake up this morning to YouTube saying, you have violated our community guidelines. You need to take this 15-minute training in order to remove the warning from your channel. And then if you want to appeal it, you can.
Did you look at the training yet? Or are you going to do that after
I did it. I did the training. I did it.
Was the training like, you need to chant from the river to the sea? Was that
no, the training was like on the right-hand side of the screen. It shows you the community guidelines for the guideline that I apparently violated by writing the word "oh." And so it was all about like hateful speech and promoting violence or whatever.
So hateful.
So the training then showed 7 different scenarios of like what you could post. And then I had to answer, is this a violation or is this not a violation? So I did. It was 7 questions. I answered them, and then I filed the appeal.
I'm so glad.
This is so insanely ridiculous.
This is why Mock deals with this stuff. She deals with that, and then she deals with like the news guards, because I would just be. We would have already gotten shut down like completely, because she has an HR background and she knows how to play nice.
I know how to do it on the surface, but you know what I really want to do? Like,
fuck you, buddy. Seriously,
right.
That's what I want to do.
That's totally. And that's what I would do, which is why you got constantly, like, ever since we've had our site and everything, I will send her stuff and I'll be like, can I do this? And she'll be like, count to 100, Daisy. Count to 100. And so I've learned over the years to count to 100, sometimes 250 or 1,000. Sometimes I have to count, but she taught me that. She's been very good.
It's a good rule.
She's been a good influence on me. So if you guys are ever in doubt, count to 250.
Like, and that means like if you're about to send a super angry email or something, or respond to one.
If you're about to do what Jordan just did.
I love that clip. I'm keeping it forever.
So great.
It's just my favorite thing. Favorite thing. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we got to talk about this debate, because all this happened after the show ended yesterday. We find out that Joe Biden is like doing that whole put him up thing, right?
Put him up.
So he releases a 14 second long video where he's all tough guy in it. You can tell that it had to be cut and edited like 10 times before they could actually put it all together into 14 measly seconds. Here it is in all of its glory.
Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. And since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. Let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Oh, my God. So much amphetamine-laced ice cream was used to make that. They put so many drugs, and they cut. What was it, like 6 cuts? We counted.
Oh my God! At least it took so many edits for that little thing to be put together.
14 seconds. That was 14 seconds. I cannot wait for this debate. I can't wait, because I don't think in at least one of them there won't be an audience. Am I correct about that?
It may be all of them.
Okay.
Because Biden has rules. Like, he only did this because he's refusing to debate him in front of an audience. They're demanding all these guardrails, no audience, no RFK. Trump is not allowed to talk when Biden's talking. They're going to mute mics if necessary.
That will not happen.
I know. And then only Biden-friendly outlets and anchors can moderate, from CBS, ABC, CNN, or Telemundo. And CNN is the first debate scheduled for June 27th. By the way, we're going to be together, you guys.
We are. We're going to be together. I cannot wait. It's going to be so fun. So we'll be able to actually live stream. Oh, my God.
I know.
So fun.
I know.
Yeah.
It's
You know
gonna
what?
be crazy.
Trump's still going to kick his ass.
We'll see. There's a lot of restraints that they're putting on Trump, but you know what? Good for Trump for being like, I don't care. I'll do it however you want to do it. You know what I mean? He's not afraid of any of this.
I'll still kick your ass. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Like, tie my hands behind my back and I'll still kick your ass. Yeah.
That's exactly right. So Brian Stelter, I thought it was funny coming from Brian Stelter that he's the one that was reporting that only 4 networks, CNN, ABC, Telemundo, and CBS, hosted debates for both parties during the cycles in 2016 and 2020. And only those networks are eligible to host this year's events. So very, very interesting how they are doing that. And then after it was agreed upon, so Biden put him up video out. Trump's campaign immediately responds, yes, we are doing it. We don't care what the rules are. You can do it however you want to do it. We're there. And then after that, Trump was like, actually, we need more. I don't want just 2. I want a debate every single month from now until the election.
Freaking love this. I love it. I love it.
Isn't that the greatest?
Oh my God,
it's
fantastic. He's like, keep bringing it. And I hope that they do. And if Biden says no, after he's like put up all these like goalposts and guardrails and all these rules, if he says no to that, then he looks like a giant wuss.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I love the fearlessness on the Biden team. They're just like, whatever, you can make up any old rules you want, old man.
On the Trump team, you mean?
Yeah, on the Trump team.
Yeah. Right. It's fantastic.
Love it. And we'll have some reaction about like the guardrails that have been set in just a minute. But we wanted to remind everybody about this new partner that we have in freedomalliance.org/chicks. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but it is right now Military Appreciation Month. And today, what is happening with Freedom Alliance is that 2 Gold Star daughters are being honored with new payment-free 2024 Chevrolet Equinoxes. This is happening in Minneapolis. They're doing a ceremony about that today. And this is exactly the kind of stuff that Freedom Alliance does. So this is part of the Driven to Serve program by Freedom Alliance and U.S. Bank. And this is honoring, so in collaboration with them, Megyn Kelly, not to be confused with Megyn Kelly. This is Megyn Kelly, who is the Gold Star daughter who lost her dad in Iraq in 2009. And also Trinity Scott, another Gold Star daughter who lost her dad in Iraq on May 26th of 2005. They are both getting those free Equinoxes. And this is part of what Freedom Alliance does. They have collaborated with U.S. Bank, by the way, since 2018, and they have presented over 40 cars to military families and service members who need them. And then U.S. Bank has provided over 70 in total. So this is just, I love these things, right?
I love that too.
Love it so much.
That's awesome.
Such a great organization to support. And so why not fight for those who fought, right? You can make a donation, and even better, if you make a monthly donation, that is so obviously appreciated. You can do that by going to freedomalliance.org/chicks. You will know that you're improving the life of military heroes. And if you believe in heroes, then you should let Freedom Alliance honor their service by going to freedomalliance.org/chicks. So awesome.
I do think, I'm sorry, I was just going to say, I do think with the debates that Joe Biden will get the questions in advance.
I totally do too. I totally do too.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know about Trump. I don't know, because I think that they're going to do whatever they can to put him at a disadvantage, but Biden will get the questions in advance.
Doesn't that just make you sick? It makes me so angry just to think about it.
But everybody be prepared for that, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
I still think Trump will do great.
Alexandra, thank you. Alexandra says, Biden is just going to make old man sounds. I think they're going to drug him up pretty well for this one.
He will be on speed. He will be on so much speed.
And Micheal Boyd, thank you. Micheal says Trump will squash Biden like a bug. Bone Frog and chicks and the debate sounds like a great combination. FJB so hard.
That'll be a fun night. What night is that? The 27th. You
Thursday.
Okay, so the 27th is a Thursday. You guys, we will be, I'm assuming we're going to be live streaming that, right? Somehow.
I mean, we haven't talked about it.
We
haven't. The hard thing about live streaming it is that we're not going to be able, you guys are just going to be looking at us because we're not going to be able to talk to you. We're going to be like intently watching and listening to the debate. So it might be a thing where we're on, but then we discuss afterwards and then also the following morning. I don't know.
Yeah. Exactly. We've done this before where we live stream events and it's just sort of like you guys hanging out, us having, Prosecco or vodka or whatever, hanging out, like watching the event, but you guys are, it's like a watch party.
Yeah, it's a watch party.
And that's probably what we're going to end up doing is something like that.
All right. Well, let's hear some of the news reporting about this and we've got a few things, obviously when it was breaking news, there were lots and lots of reports. This first report is a CNN announcement when they made the announcement. And that is
President Biden and former President Donald Trump appear to have accepted the terms of a June 27th debate with CNN. That is just 6 weeks away. This will be the first time that we are seeing the two men face off in this presidential election cycle. Of course, they debated 2 times back in 2020. The Biden campaign has also set out very specific details about what they want to see. For instance, the microphones can only be on when each candidate is expected to speak, potentially eliminating some of that very intense back and forth that we saw in the very first debate between Biden and Trump back in 2020.
Is this a risk?
Jim Acosta, he's still a thing. Did you see him?
I know.
Did you see him? Remember how he?
I can't believe they let him have a show. It's just
I know.
Gross.
Remember how awful he was to Trump? Do you remember back in the day? We would be like, God, get this guy out of there. He was awful. Yeah. You would harass him. He was terrible. Yeah.
It's just so interesting. Like the optics, right? Like clearly the Biden campaign felt like huge amounts of pressure to take on Trump saying anywhere, anytime. They felt that pressure and they responded to it. They've got this spokesperson that you're going to hear from next who's trying to pretend like, oh, Biden's not afraid. He's wanted this from the get-go. Right. It's all such bullcrap.
It really for the president. Why has he decided he wants to do this?
Look, our campaign has been saying for months that democracy is literally at stake and is what's on the ballot in this election. The American people deserve to hear from one of the two of the individuals who have a chance of being elected president of the United States, that are going to represent them on a world stage, that are going to be in charge of the economy that affects their life every day. President Biden deeply believes this. We have nothing to hide. President Biden's incredibly proud of his record.
Oh my God, he's incredibly proud of his record. I can't wait for Trump to tear into that record.
I know. I just hope that they don't constantly mute him. You know what I mean? It's going to be very strange.
But if they do, then we're going to know that. That'll also embolden him, don't you think? If they do to him what they've done to him over the past couple of months in these courtrooms, and it's just an extension of that, it'll just make him even that more popular. Mock.
Yeah. I hope so. Like, obviously, I'm super, super stoked. And I hope there are more than 2. I would love for there to be more than 2. But we know 2 for sure is what they've agreed to. And then Trump is obviously asking for more. In fact, I think that after he did that, so according to Politico, the Trump campaign proposed 2 more in addition to the 2. And then the Biden campaign accused the Trump campaign of, quote, playing games, and they rejected any additional negotiations saying, quote, no more debate about debates.
Oh my God.
So they're just like,
they're over it.
And that's it.
But you know that there's people in the media that are on the left that are like, why did they agree to this?
Well, and I'm so glad you said that because one of those people, not necessarily media, but Nancy Pelosi does not think this is a good idea. Yep. Here she is talking to CNN.
Myself would never recommend going on a stage with Donald Trump, but the president has decided that's what he wants to do. I think the format he is suggesting is a good one. I think you all should have separate town hall meetings with them, let them challenge them with questions about the future, and let the public make its decision.
Really? Would you recommend that, Nancy? Too bad, so sad. You don't get to decide that, you hag. Yeah. She doesn't want it to happen because she knows that he will be useless in a debate in that sort of a situation where people listen, what was it? However many years ago that they debated, he actually, you look at video of that and he was a lot better off mentally.
Yes, for sure.
He has just gone on a downward spiral since then. He wasn't very good then, but he's so much worse now, you guys. It's like night and day looking at the difference. And she knows it. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why I think, Trump is just like, fine, if you want to pick the moderators, which by the way, it's Dana Bash and Jake Tapper for the first one.
Oh my God.
I know. And so Jesse Waters went on a tear about the fact that those are the first two moderators. Here he was last night.
Moderators say Trump's Hitler, so the debate will be fair and balanced. Is Tapper going to cut the cameras away from Trump to fact check him? We'll have to see. The ABC moderators will be David Muir and Lindsay Davis, who will be taking orders from ABC News chief political correspondent George Stephanopoulos. Stephanopoulos praised the deep state and said Trump's a threat to democracy. I'm sure they'll be calling balls and strikes. So Biden set 2 debates on networks that push hoaxes with liberal moderators, mic cuts, and no audience. And Donald Trump agreed.
But here's the thing is, I think it was Kit Kat that said he's going into the lion's den, Trump is. But that just shows you how gigantic his balls are.
It's true.
And he's just like, I don't care. Let these people ask me questions. I will go in there swinging. And he's gonna.
Yeah. He will. I think Democrats are hoping that they have set enough traps for him in the goalposts that they've laid out, in the moderators that are now chosen, that somehow Trump is not going to be able to benefit from the live audience that he typically has, all that stuff. They're making it as difficult as they can for him. And so now he's got his work cut out for him, but he's also dealing with someone who's completely demented, so it should work out okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think just not having a live audience will help Trump focus, and it could be a good
I hope
thing.
so.
It could work in his favor. Actually,
I hope so, because I know he likes to feed off that energy.
I hear you.
And I think he'll behave differently when he thinks that it's not a show. Do you know what I mean? Like when he's not entertaining the people in the crowd.
He'll be
anyway,
more
we've got some analysis about audience being a factor in just a second. But first, we need to thank Jamie Hill. Thank you, Jamie. Jamie says, about live streaming the debate, you both may think it's silly, us just watching with you, but we're raging or cheering with you. We're supporting each other in this mess, and we love to share that time with our chicks. Aww.
It'll be fun.
I just don't want you to be like, I don't want you to be upset if we're just sitting there and not talking because we're so riveted. You know what I mean?
We've done that though during primaries and other debates. I think that it'll be fun just hanging out with you guys. That's what we do. We hang out,
Michelle Boyd, thank you. Michelle says, I wonder where they will hide the depends on stage.
Oh my gosh.
And then on Venmo, Lori Mazamuro, thank you. Lori says, good morning. I took a free online course from Hillsdale College about the American left. Gave me so much insight into how we arrived to where we are. Highly recommend it. Yeah, I love the fact that Hillsdale offers so many courses online for free.
I've taken a couple, like their Constitution courses. They're great. Like I highly recommend them too. They're awesome and they're free.
That's right. That is right. I will tell you who is fired up about this debate and all the parameters and all the hullabaloo, and that is Lara Trump, who, of course, is co-chair of the RNC. Here she is on Hannity last night.
Well, I think you're correct, but, what we've always also called for and what Donald Trump has said is that he wants more debate. So he said, yes, I'll do this one in June. I'll do the one in September. I'll do the one in October, but let's do one in July. Let's do one in August. Let's do one every single month leading up to this election, because, Sean, we need these two men on a stage. We need to be very clear about the direction we want this country to go. We need to hear from Donald Trump about his vision for the future of this country, how he will give this country back to the people, how he'll fix the mess Joe Biden has put us in. And Joe Biden has a lot of questions to answer. So we want to see more of them on a stage, not less. And you're right. It's rigged so heavily in Joe Biden's favor, but everything always is. You've got Hollywood against Donald Trump. You've got the music industry against Donald Trump, mainstream media. Despite that, and even the judicial system at this point, he is beating Joe Biden in every poll out there. It's amazing to see. So if Joe Biden shows up on June 27th and doesn't come up with an excuse like he has to wash his hair or something, I have full confidence that Donald Trump will outperform him.
Yes, she's 100% correct.
She is fired up.
Yeah, she is. Gotta hate it when he plays the music over people.
I know, it's like the Oscar playing music over a speech.
God, that's why I can't watch that show. It just drives me insane. But yeah, she's 100% correct. She is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about this whole not having an audience thing. Chris Wallace, who of course moderated one of the debates between Biden and Trump the last time, and it was impossible to corral either one of them. So Chris Wallace was on with Abby Phillips to talk about this whole parameter of having no audience there and what he thinks about it. Here is what Chris Wallace said.
Also, this issue of the studio audience or lack thereof, it would be the first time since 1960 that there hasn't been a studio audience in a presidential debate. I mean, personally, I think at this point, it's smart, perhaps, to take it out of the context of sort of public opinion and the kinds of party operatives. What do you think about that?
I do too. I always felt that the audience was a pain in the neck. You know, some people are saying, well, that's going to hurt Trump because he plays to a crowd. I can tell you, as somebody who's been on that general election debate stage twice in 2016 and 2020, people aren't playing to the crowd. It is a very intense circle there between the two candidates whose podiums are just 10 feet apart and the moderator who's about 10 or 15 feet away from the two of them. Nobody is playing to the crowd. Now, the crowd does get involved occasionally, and the moderator has to play school marm and turn around and say, be quiet. But I think it's overstated the advantage that it gives either one of them. I don't think either of them are really paying much attention to it. And I think it removes an unnecessary distraction by just saying, you know, as in 60, which it was just done on a TV stage with the two candidates, a host, and a bunch of reporters asking questions. I think it's a very much a positive for the audience, for the millions of people at home who are watching. And that, of course, is the real audience and the real point of the whole debate. So voters can do some comparison shopping.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially if it's a CNN and an ABC audience, Trump wins if they're not there. Honestly.
Yeah.
What good would they serve? Because they would just be booing him or they would be clapping more for Biden. And so you talk about energy, it's take him out of the equation and he's better off. Completely.
Well, and I didn't know that that's how it worked in 1960, was that it was a host, the candidates, and then reporters asking the questions. I actually think that's kind of amazing. Like, get Peter Doocy in an audience, right?
Yeah.
Have a nice balance. I think that'd be kind of cool.
It would be, but it'll never happen these days. Nothing is balanced. It was way more balanced back then. And that was back in the day when we actually still had journalists.
Right.
There is no such thing anymore. We have maybe like 4 that still are alive. Yeah.
Well, last opinion on this, and that comes from Karl Rove. Here's what he said about having an audience.
Not surprised that there are going to be debates, but I am surprised that Vice President Biden woke up to the fact that he was looking like he was trying to avoid debates. And if there had not been debates, whoever the American public held responsible for the absence of the debates would suffer in the polls. He's finding his numbers bad enough already and probably decided I'd better step up and look like I'm eager to debate. And it's going to be wild. I think it's going to be one part of this is going to be very useful for the American people. I think Bill McGurn was absolutely right. The American people want to see these two men in debate. And it's going to be a debate that's sort of retro. It's back to 1960. We're going to have a studio with a moderator, maybe a couple of press people, a couple of executives and the crew that's running the show, and no audience, which I think I wrote a couple of weeks ago in my Wall Street Journal column. I thought that would be a distinct improvement. The audience has turned these into performance, and the American people lose the serious conversation that they can have between a moderator or moderators and the two candidates when we have all the shenanigans going on that happen when you have a gigantic audience.
Similarity.
I agree with that. I mean, we need some serious conversation, especially this time around, because we're spiraling the drain. And so I'm looking forward to Trump going back and forth with him and holding his feet to the fire, holding Biden's feet to the fire about all the crap that he's done to completely destroy this country. And that is going to be a serious conversation. We need to see that.
I just hope that like this whole idea of muting mics when one person is talking, you can't have a conversation that flows naturally when you're muting some of the conversation. Then it's not a conversation. It's somebody's talking for a minute, then somebody else talks for a minute, then somebody else, you know what I mean? It needs to be more free flowing. So I hope that they don't get all mute happy.
Yeah, but like I said before, if they do that, people will be like, that wasn't a fair. There will be outrage.
Yeah, that's true.
And that is not democracy. That's not being fair. That's squelching and stifling one of the candidates and not allowing him to speak. And people will be outraged by that. I mean, they've already tried to stifle him in every way possible. So if they mute his mic, what the hell? Yeah. They better not do that.
It's going to be so interesting. I cannot wait. And the fact that it's 6 weeks away, like that's soon, you guys. That's like really, really soon.
I know.
And then now, even though Biden set the parameter or the guideline or whatever, that it should only be the two of them, there was this interesting tweet from RFK yesterday saying, I'm happy to report that I will meet the criteria to participate in the CNN debate before the June 20th deadline. I look forward to holding both Presidents Biden and Trump accountable for their records to give Americans the debate they deserve.
Yeah, but
So,
that was part of the rules, right? It's part of the rules that Biden said is no Kennedy.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if you can. I don't know what this means because RFK obviously knew that was Biden's parameter. So I don't know why he would tweet this unless it's actually there's just a qualifying number that he has to hit. And Biden doesn't get a say in that. I don't know. This was what he tweeted last night.
Yeah, it would be interesting if all three of them were on the stage.
Oh my God, right? Like that would be a whole new dynamic, man.
Oh, completely different dynamic. But I don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't either. I wanted to share that that's what he put because I was like,
he's like,
wow,
rules, schmoles. I don't care.
Heather Carr, thank you so much. Heather said, Heather, dad jokes are on Wednesdays. But Heather says, Stevie, here today, gonna tomorrow. See what she did there?
I see what you did there. Yeah. He doesn't though. He doesn't.
No, he does not see what you did there.
Can't see what you did there.
No, he does not.
No.
All right, let's get to some Biden and other election-y sorts of things because Biden had himself, he was on the struggle bus a little bit, not last night, but the night before. I don't know what, he was dressed in a tux and he was giving some sort of speech somewhere. I don't even know where.
I was going to ask you where that was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like after he made that 14-second video, it's like, it was spent, you guys. He couldn't give any more. He couldn't.
But whoever the crowd was, they were also dressed up because he was trying to introduce somebody from his team and was looking in the audience to find her. And of course, he's got to be totally creepy about it. Here he is.
Stand up, kid. I like that dress. Let him see your gown.
No.
Why does he have to be?
I don't know. I'm surprised
that
he didn't
way.
say, don't jump. He's such an idiot.
Well, and then there was this moment where he had one of those, like his brain just literally stops working in the moment, and this happened.
They want to undo what they finally got done, and then what we finally got done to make up for it. They want they want to give power back to Big Pharma.
What?
Okay, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I can't. You want me to translate? And I can't. I have no idea what he said there. I'm out. That one, I have no idea.
Your favorite influencer on TikTok, Harry Sisson, who is like all the way up inside Biden's rectum.
He is.
He got to meet his hero for the first time yesterday, and it went about exactly as you might have expected. Check this out.
How are you, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I hear a lot of great things about you.
I hear a lot of great things about you too.
That's because you say them.
Well, you know what? I was just thinking about this earlier. You make the job very easy because you do a lot of good stuff, and the other guy like really sucks. So, you make it. You make it pretty easy. I like you too.
I'm cringing so hard. So cringe. It's so scripted. That was so scripted. He acts as if he's never met him before. He has no relationship with him whatsoever. That is your sugar daddy. Harry.
Right.
It's like,
yeah, when he said you make the job so easy, he wasn't lying.
right,
it is a
that's
job.
his job. That's his job. He gets paid by them. He gets paid by the conglomerate that is the DNC and Democrats. That's who he gets. I'm seriously. And he gets paid a lot of money to say a lot of crap. So people on TikTok, all the kiddos on TikTok are like, oh yeah, Biden's great. I mean, so you might as well have just made out with him, Harry. Gross.
That's so gross.
It is
Which is
gross.
why it was such a delight because Harry Sisson apparently has been trolling this creator on TikTok that goes by Older Millennial. And he's this like gruff bearded guy, is awesome. And so Harry Sisson apparently recently released another TikTok just baiting this guy to debate him. Like he wants to debate this guy and he's lying. And this guy calls him out, and you guys will love Harry Sisson getting called out. Is glorious.
Been challenging this guy to debate me publicly for like a year now.
No, Harry, about a year ago, what you did was invite me on your live. Your mods then proceeded to mute me anytime I made a point, and then anytime I tried to correct a lie you told, your mods muted me again. So since there was no actual possibility of debating with you live on TikTok, I just made videos correcting your lies. You then proceeded to send me a cease and desist from a very expensive law firm. And contrary to you saying that the cease and desist was all about a shirt, that was only a tiny part of it. See, the rest of it was your lawyer saying that I couldn't say mean things about you. You literally sent me the lawyer equivalent of, "Mommy, make him stop." And then I invited you and Chris Mowry down to Florida. I said I would pay for your flights, I'd pay for your hotel. All you had to do was sit down for a live roundtable with me and Conservative Aim. And then you dodged that for the better part of 9 months. And now that I got more followers in 9 months than you did in 4 years, now you're really interested in a debate. Funny how that works.
Oh my God. I want to see the debate, and he needs to wear that shirt.
It's glorious, isn't it?
So great. God, Harry is such a sellout. How that guy, one day, Harry Sisson is going to be 40 years old, you know, like just bald, living by himself somewhere, you know, and just like, seriously, he's going to be like all with a beer gut and like just lonely. And he's going to be like, what did I do wrong with my life? And that's what he did. He made Joe Biden his sugar daddy as a kid. Like, and his parents were like, yeah, do that. Yeah, that's a great idea. Like,
yeah, can you send us some of that money as well?
Right. Let's all like get in cahoots together and do that to get gross. It's just gross.
Leah, thank you. Leah says, wait, Biden can diminish a woman by talking about her dress, but that other guy can't talk about women working in the home. Right? It's all so dumb.
America. Oh, yeah.
Well, Biden and Kamala, they are doing their best, obviously, to try to gain favor in the eyes of as many Americans as possible. And they are not above bribes, as you will see. Kamala recently went on Sherry Shepherd's show and brought her a present.
I brought you a gift. Oh,
what you brought?
Oh!
This is a show? This is an actual show?
Now, okay, so what is this? Those are White House M&Ms. Oh! And so you see the seal of the president and the name, Joe Biden's signature there. And these are White House M&Ms.
I love White House M&Ms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why do we pay for those? That's the first thing that I think of when I see that is we paid for those, you guys. Why in the hell are we doing that? We're broke. Why are we making White House M&Ms? You know how much that, seriously, that costs money. Like, I'm irritated by that.
And somebody said that Sherry Shepherd is diabetic. I'm not laughing that she's diabetic. I'm just laughing because if that is true, that is the gift that Kamala decided to go with.
Well, that's apropos. That's apropos for Kamala. Let me go ahead and give you a big thing of sugar. Let me do that. That would make sense. Yeah. She's like, what's a diabetic? I don't know.
Oh my God.
But like, she has a show.
I guess so. Yeah. She has a show.
Where is that? Where people?
I don't know where it is.
I honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't know where any of these shows are, but White House M&Ms.
Mm-hmm.
And we wonder why we're broke. Mm-hmm.
Well, and again, they're just throwing things at the wall right now, hoping that something helps. And that includes, and I am not making this up, this was an actual headline yesterday. Biden is planning an executive order to shut down the border once crossings reach 4,000 per day, despite saying that he actually needed Congress in order to do that. We all know he doesn't. We all know that he could have just erased the executive orders that he erased on his first day that were Trump orders that worked well for the border. Now he's really trying to fix things before the election.
This proves that he doesn't need Congress. This
exactly.
Hello, it's just saying it. And what? So 3,999 isn't enough, but 4,000. That's the number.
Right. That's the number.
That is says I'm not taking any more of this shit. Number. That's it. Okay, tough guy. I can't.
I know.
This guy is a disaster. Okay, so just put everything that Trump did back in place, and everything would be fine. That's basically what they're doing. Or they want to do, but they can't do it because they're afraid to say, we screwed up. We reversed all of Trump's policies, and now everything is like spiraling down the drain. Wow.
He's really trying, you guys. He's
unreal.
desperate. He is desperate. And you know that one of the things that he's been going around saying is that, well, when I took office, the inflation was 9%, which is a total lie. And finally, KJP got asked about that in a presser yesterday, and she was delighted to answer the question as she did. You'll see.
I'm going to ask you about how the president talks about inflation. So 2 times over the past 2 weeks, the president said inflation was 9% when he came into office. Is the president misleading Americans on that, or does he just not realize that inflation was 1.4% when he came in?
You know, and thank you for the question, because I know that we got a lot of incoming on this yesterday. And look, what the president was, the point that he was making is that the factors that caused inflation was in place when he walked into the administration, when he took office.
Oh, that's what he meant. The factors were in place.
What does that even mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
She is such a perfect representation for like this absolute DEI clown show of an administration. She's just like, she's the perfect spokesperson for them at this point. You can't find anything better.
Well, and the number now, this lie, he's repeated this lie so often at this point that it has become truly comical, and everybody knows that the real number was 1.4%. Sandra Smith had on a previous Obama administration advisor and out of the blue asked him, hey, what was the inflation rate when Biden took office? And she literally laughs out loud at his answer. And it's my favorite thing.
Obama, welcome to both of you. Robert, what was inflation when Biden took office?
I'll
tell you if you don't know.
9-10%.
No. Come on.
But more importantly,
all right.
It's 3% now, so it's down by 2/3.
I apologize. I put you on the spot there. It was 1.4%, and that
oh
is
my
fact.
God.
So
I
Doug
swear.
Holtz-Eakin, these are the claims that the president has been making, that the Washington Post is giving 4 Pinocchios. Kind of sounds like what Robert just said. Listen.
We have dramatically reduced inflation from 9% down to close to 3%. We're in a situation where we're better situated than we were when we took office. It was 9% when I came to office.
Oh my
9%.
God.
But look, people have a right to be concerned. I think inflation has gone slightly up. It was at 9% when I came in.
Oh my God.
And it's now down around 3%.
So
all right, so apparently we're having a hard time with Robert's IFB. It was 1.4%, and I did put him on the spot there.
Were they being okay? So I watched that live yesterday, and then what he did when they put him back on the screen, he was acting like I can't hear, or like I'm having problems hearing. Because he was super embarrassed.
Oh my gosh,
he was embarrassed by the fact that he's a complete moron, and that he's representing this administration. Can you imagine having to do that? Seriously, can you imagine having to be the person to go there and lie? That's your job. How do you sleep at night? First of all, I mean, like Joe Biden, it's old hat for him, right? I mean, like he lies every day of his life. It's just like what he does. But all the people, all these Democrat like strategists that are going out there and they're like, oh yeah, it was 9%. It was 9%. I mean, how do you do that with a straight face? That guy had a problem. He had a little bit of a come to Jesus moment or whatever it was for him.
I hope so.
You could see it because he was like, oh, you could tell. And I was like, dude, you are a loser. Like, you're lying to the American people. Everybody knows you're lying. The numbers are the numbers.
The numbers are the numbers, and yet they keep on with this lie. It's amazing to watch. You guys, I'm about to give MSNBC some credit.
Uh-oh.
Is everybody sitting down?
Uh-oh.
I can't believe that this is an MSNBC report that they allowed on their network, and you'll see why when you watch.
By this trial, are they paying close attention, and what impact might a guilty verdict have on their decision to support the former president? Here's what they told me. Take a look. Do each of you support Donald Trump?
I do.
Yes. Yes for all three of you? Yes. Has this trial changed your opinion, even caused you to waver or question that at all?
No, it's actually caused me to support him more. I just don't believe there's a coincidence that we have a trial happening in Atlanta. We have one happening in New York. So the question people are beginning to ask themselves, like I did, is like, why now?
It's pretty much everybody says they're picking on him. You know, people are tired of going after him, and you see it in so many areas. It's really not a big issue in the party. Actually, they're really making everybody mad, and they look at a big bully, and the government is the bully.
This is going to be your first time casting a ballot. What is it for you?
But he still hasn't given up. He keeps fighting to do what's right.
I've talked to many people who formerly identified as a Democrat. They have changed their political persuasion to independent, and they are looking forward to voting for Trump. Wow. Because now they find something in common with a political candidate at that level.
When you say they find commonality, what is that commonality?
They have felt persecuted by the system of American injustice. And it's not a stretch for them to think that Trump may be a victim as well. People see that there's some kind of commonality between himself and maybe all the black men that have been incarcerated and the families that have been impacted by black male incarceration.
Isn't that interesting, right?
MSNBC.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy. Maybe their motive for doing that is to not wake people up to that same mentality, but to get people who are on their side to go, vote. Kind of like what we tell people, you got to go vote. You got to go vote. I don't know what their I don't know what their motivation would be for doing that, because they are so left leaning. But I mean, it's becoming quite obvious that a lot of people are waking up to the fact that they are understanding that the government doesn't give a shit about you.
Yeah.
The government doesn't care about you. And I think people are going, wow. And COVID played a big role in that, because we all lived through that. We all did, and I hope you would think that would be more unifying, but it wasn't. It actually segmented us, but it made a lot of people think, oh, the government really cares about me. A lot of people on the left, it's the left versus right thing, where the left people are like, the government wants what's best for me. No, they don't. But a lot of those people are starting, maybe not a lot, but some of those people are starting to go, God, they really don't want what's best. And they're taking a lot of my money, and prices are high, and everything sucks right now, and crime is bad, and illegals are pouring over the border, and everything. You compound all that stuff. And, the messaging is, this guy's still fighting. He's still fighting. He doesn't have to do this. He doesn't have to run for president. He could just be rich and go live his life in Mar-a-Lago, but he's still fighting for us. And I thought that was interesting that young kid said that. He's still fighting,
I mean, that all three of the people that they chose to interview for that were like, yeah, I mean, it's not going to change anything. We're still going to vote for him. MSNBC, man. Mm-hmm. What in the world?
It's crazy.
It's nuts. Crazy. And then meanwhile, of course, this whole Michael Cohen is on the stand this week, and there's cross-examination happening. And now, at the exact same time, his former attorney, guy by the name of Costello, Mr. Costello, was testifying to a House, I think it's the House Judiciary Committee, and specifically Elise Stefanik. Stefanik was asking him some questions. He is actually negating the very things that Michael Cohen is saying this week under oath. And it's a pretty big deal. And I don't know how they square this with the fact that the trial is happening at the same time. But you guys, you have to hear his testimony yesterday.
Well, tell me about the NDA. Tell me about Stormy Daniels. What did you do? He said, I got a call from
from a lawyer representing Stormy Daniels, who represented that she was going to testify that Donald Trump had sex with Stormy Daniels. Michael Cohen said, I didn't believe the allegation, but I knew that such an allegation would be terribly embarrassing. He said it would be embarrassing. He focused on Melania Trump. He said, I didn't want to embarrass Melania Trump. He said, that's why I decided to take care of this on my own. Right. I went back to that several times. You did this on your own? On my own. Did Donald Trump have anything to do with it? No. Did you get the money from Donald Trump? No. From any of his organizations? No. From anybody connected to Donald Trump? No. Where did you get the money? I took out a HELOC loan against my property. I said, why would you do that? He said, I didn't want anybody to know where I got this money. I didn't want Melania to know. I didn't want my own wife to know, because she's in charge, he said, of the Cohen family finances. He said, if she saw money coming out of my account, she'd ask me 100 questions, and I didn't want to answer any of them. It was clear after talking to him for several days after that, whenever we talked on the phone or in my office, that he kept on bringing up the subject that he felt he was betrayed by not being brought down to Washington, D.C. This guy thought, he said to me, that he should have been Attorney General of the United States, or at least the chief assistant to the president. Ludicrous, but that's what he thought. And he was very angry about that. He wanted to do something to put himself back into the inner circle of Donald Trump. That's why he took care of this on his own. There had to be a motivation. Michael Cohen is always working for things that benefit himself. And that's what he was doing here. That's completely different to what he said that he told the grand jury. That's completely different to what he's testifying to in New York. Nobody has heard this side of the equation. Right.
Well, that tracks. Doesn't it? Doesn't it? I mean, who do you believe?
Oh, I mean, come on.
Right. I believe it.
And there was more, because Elise Stefanik then had her moment to ask Mr. Costello questions, and it went a little something like this.
Isn't it true that in Alvin Bragg's campaign for Manhattan DA, Bragg specifically ran on going after President Donald Trump?
That is true.
Isn't it true that Bragg's predecessor, Cy Vance, declined to prosecute President Trump?
That is true.
And the FEC also did not prosecute President Trump.
That is true.
And the DOJ did not prosecute President Trump in this case.
The DOJ referring to the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District?
Correct.
Absolutely true.
And one of the reasons the Southern District of New York turned down this case was because the supposed star witness, according to Alvin Bragg, Michael Cohen, was totally, quote, unworthy of belief. Isn't that true?
Without a doubt.
But it's not just Bragg's case that is a total sham and illegal political lawfare going after Joe Biden's top political opponent, Donald Trump. This rot goes deep all the way up to the top in the Oval Office. Because when Congress referred this admission of Cohen's perjury to Joe Biden's DOJ, isn't it true that the DOJ has refused to prosecute?
That is true.
Isn't it correct that Michael Colangelo, who was the third highest ranking official in Biden's DOJ, was transferred to Bragg's office to run this weaponized prosecution of President Trump? Isn't that true?
Not only true, but it's unheard of.
Unheard of. It's a disgrace.
Well, yeah, it is a disgrace, which is why people are like, it doesn't change my opinion of him. In fact, it makes me want to support him even more. So it's backfiring on you, Democrats. Suck it. Suck it. It is. It's back. I mean, seriously, they thought that this was going to be a good plan. Hey, let's just put him in jail, and then he won't be there. He won't be able to run. God, you guys are idiots. Total idiots.
Oh my gosh. All right. So before we move on to a very, very interesting woman who's running for the Secretary of State, I believe in Missouri, because she is a story. Before we get to that, I need to play you one last clip from Donald Trump, who was on with Clay Travis, Buck and Clay Travis yesterday, talking about vice presidential picks, right? Because this is still a question. I mean, if you think about it, Kamala is going to be set to debate someone really soon. So at this, we need to know who the someone is.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to need to make a decision. He was asked specifically by Clay about Kristi Noem. And you know how we've been like, oh yeah, she's done. Like, and she's dead to me. There's no way. He was very, very excusey. I know that's not a word, but that's how I would describe Trump about Kristi Noem. Check this out.
President Trump. Isn't that true?
Not only true, but it's unheard of.
Unheard of. It's a disgrace.
Well, until this week, she was doing incredibly well, and she got hit hard. And sometimes you do books, and you have some guy writing a book, and you maybe don't read it as carefully. You know, you have ghostwriters, too. They help you. And they, in this case, didn't help too much. Now, she's terrific. Look, she's been a supporter of mine from day one. She did a great job as governor. And, you know, you look at South Dakota numbers. She's really done a great job. And in some form, I mean, I think she's terrific. A couple of rough stories, there's no question about it. And when explained, the dog story, you know, people hear that, and people from different parts of the country probably feel a little bit differently. But that's a tough story. And but she's a terrific person. She had a bad week.
Okay, well, here's the thing. He does like the loyalty. She has remained consistently loyal to him. But I don't know if that translates anything. And
it would be a mistake. It would be a mistake at this point for him to choose her.
I don't think he's going to choose her. I think he's just being nice because she's been loyal. But, you know, he does have a good point. She still has run that state very well. You can't take that away.
Except for the, like, what is it? 7 out of 9 native tribes now will not allow her on their land. In her own state.
But I mean, like, as far as like governors go across the country, she's an effective governor, Mock. She has been. I mean, there's all of them have ups and downs, right? But she's a pretty effective governor as far as governors go. I don't want her to be vice president now, but you know, he's not wrong about that. He's not wrong when he says she's a good governor. She has been a good governor, maybe, but I don't know if he's right about saying she's a good person. Well, I mean,
right.
That's up for debate. That's up for debate now, I think.
I hope you're right that he's just being nice because she's nice to him and he rewards that niceness with his own niceness. But it would be disastrous if he chose her now because this is all anybody would talk about. It would take the focus away from things that are important.
But here's the thing. It's kind of like what I have to be consistent, you know, and it's kind of like with him and women and like womanizing and all the stuff that whatever in his past. I don't care. I just want him to run the country. I feel the same way about Kristi Noem and I'm not going to feel differently just because she doesn't have a penis. You know what I mean? She's a woman. I feel the same way. She's a politician to me. So I don't really care about her personal life. I just want her to be able to run a state if she's the governor. So I apply the same rules to her. I think she's not a very good person. I mean, just some of the stuff she's done over the past couple of weeks is pretty suspect with the lying and whatnot. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But if she can run the state, run the freaking state. You know, I mean, that's how I look at that. So
she's still dead to me.
Okay. Fine. That's fine.
Okay, before we get to Valentina, because this is an amazing story. Douche Elias, thank you so much. He says, sick it, suck it, stuff it. A porn star, a perjurer, a prospector, and a president stroll into a New York court. I'll take Trump for the win. Well said. Okay, so if you guys have not heard of Valentina Gomez, she again is running for Secretary of State, I believe in the state of Missouri, and I've seen her videos all over the place. What are you doing?
I'm looking at a thing between Sarah and her because I was going to read it to you because they got in a fight.
No, I have it. I have all that.
You have it? Okay.
So Valentina, she is this firecracker, right? And her videos have been exploding all over social media. And typically she's that kind of firecracker that really, really appeals to the populist, like America First people like we are. And so when I first started seeing them, I was like, dang, you go, girl. Like, what? Look at you. You know what I mean? So just to give you an example, we'll show a few of the videos and then we'll talk about the Sarah stuff.
Happened to sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. We used to be strong, America. Now, there's a bunch of pussies crying in politics and on social media.
Okay.
I need the Lions of America to wake up and help me take this nation back from the weak men and women that have sent our sons and daughters to die in wars that they profit from. General Flynn said it best. When there's war, there's a failure in diplomacy. And under President Trump, the world was at peace. And let me tell you something. I really miss those mean tweets right about now. President Trump, have your back.
Okay, which I didn't mind that.
No, there's nothing to mind in that, right?
That was a great ad. I really
It's a
like
great
that.
ad. And so they get a little more in your face, let's say.
Yeah.
The more that she releases. So here is, I think this one is her famous one about effing around and finding out. This is because, you know, she's getting threats. And so she loves her guns. And so she has a message for all those people who are, you know, doing the tough guy thing to her. And here is that message.
There's a lot of Hamas people coming for me on my social media. My address is public, so fuck around.
I love that one.
I mean, she is.
Yeah,
she is out there, you guys.
She says the things. So
she says the things.
She says
and then
them.
she became super viral with her most recent video in which she's running, like running in a bulletproof vest. And she basically says, don't be weak and gay. You can hardly hear it, but thankfully there are captions. Here it is.
You can be anything you want. Don't be gay.
So,
I mean, what in the world?
So, I mean, you know, very appealing in a number of ways. But then there was, and Sarah Gonzalez, whose show we were on when we went down to visit the Blaze.
Yeah.
She is also a total firecracker. And she had retweeted one of those videos and said, we need to protect her at all costs.
She did.
Right? Like,
she did say that.
She was super, super excited about this girl.
Right.
However, then she tweeted this yesterday. She's saying, I'm told this chick is not a real conservative. Missouri, don't vote for her. But I do respect the trolling. That is all.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute. What? Is she not real? Like, is this all a big show?
Right. Is she a Democrat operative? What's happening? Yeah. What's going on?
And I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't, because now this fight between Sarah and Valentina is heating up. Valentina responded saying, whoever controls you and your little show and told you to say this is clearly afraid, because I don't owe anything to anyone and I cannot be controlled. Continue to cry and watch me become Missouri's 41st Secretary of State. Check my funding and my policies. Also, your jealousy is showing. Thanks for being a fan. And I was like, what is you right? Right?
Oh,
it's
wow.
just getting so weird.
It
so then somebody else, like one of the meme guys, put both of those tweets out and was like, I'm taking bets on this cat fight. And Valentina responded to that and said, she doesn't want this smoke. I've earned my success in every aspect. I swam D1, earned my MBA at 21. I'm worth millions. I work every day, currently running a successful political campaign, staying in shape and obliterating a lot of corrupt career politicians. She, meaning Sarah, is just good at moving her tongue and pressing keys, but never actually executing change.
Yikes.
What is happening, you guys?
I need to know where she swam D1. I need to know where she swam D1.
Well, we can look that up.
She was an NCAA Division I swimmer, but where? Where did she swim D1? I just need to know this.
Let's take a look.
I'm taking a look right now. Anybody know? Anybody can find out quickly for us, because I'm looking. Does she have a wiki?
No, she does not have one. But it looks like she had a bachelor's degree from Central Connecticut State.
From where?
Central Connecticut State.
That's a D1? Really?
I don't know. That was in 2019. She got a graduate degree from Tulane.
Tulane.
But that was a graduate degree.
That's graduate, so she wouldn't have swam there. It would have been her. It would have been her bachelor's degree. That's where she would have swam in the NCAA. So I'm just curious. That's okay. Interesting.
But I don't know if that's true. Like, she might just be a huge actress. You know what I mean?
I know. I just don't. We don't know. So we don't know what we don't know. But this is happening. But why would she want to do this if if it is an act? Why would she be doing this? What would be the motive if it is an act? But if it's
just
not,
grifting, I don't know. I legit don't know. I'm so baffled by this whole thing.
But she wants to be Secretary of State, right? Is that the goal? She wants to be
ostensibly. I mean, she's running.
She's running for Sec of State. Okay, so if she's doing that, and then she gets the job, you got to do the job. So I feel like she wants it. But if she is on the other side, like, listen, it's just hypothetical. She could very well be a conservative. I don't know. But
like what? But Sarah, like, I can't figure out Sarah, like, who she's hearing that from, because she's obviously somebody she trusts, right? And so she must. I hope she says more, because this is so juicy.
It is very juicy. And I love her ad. I love the ads. I love them. I love the in your face. I love, some of the stuff I'm like, okay, all right.
They are in your face.
Right. But it's, yeah, I mean, I say I love the ads. I like the essence of the ads. How's that?
Maybe she doesn't have to be quite as
right. Maybe you could like take some of the words out. You could maybe edit some of the stuff.
Just soften a little
bit. Right. But I love the essence. I love
the essence is great.
What's it? The joy day. What is it? The joy day. What is it? Vive.
Joie de vivre.
That French thing that Mock says. The joie de vivre that she puts in there. But it's, I mean, I like it. It's
actually, I think that just means like, that's joyful and happy, and she needs more of that.
Yeah,
she needs more joie de vivre.
She needs that. Yeah, but yes. So we'll be keeping an eye on this fight, and
yes, we will
know what happens with this,
because I am all about it. I can't help it, you guys. I cannot help it.
Yeah.
All right. We need to talk about today's Schlong, and I'm going to share my screen, because Daisy found a very interesting topic about this came from Mental Floss, which is a website, and they were talking about the 15 best Gen X movies. And I know there's going to be a lot of opinion about this. And here is their list. We'll just run through it really quickly. And we'll start at the bottom. Number 15, But I'm a Cheerleader, which I've not ever seen.
I've never heard of it.
Okay, thank God. I thought there was something like I was
never even heard of it.
Okay, thank God. All right. Train Spotting, which I've heard of, but also I have not seen. Hackers, which I vaguely remember, but I don't think I saw it.
I don't think that should be on the list.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, it was fine. I don't think it should be on the list.
Okay. Before Sunrise, I saw it should definitely not be on the list.
I didn't see it. Clueless, that is kind of a classic movie. I mean,
it's
classic. Like my daughter, I made her watch that. Like we watched it. I didn't make her, but we watched it together. I mean, it's sort of a cross-generational thing.
Clerks, I mean, I can see the inclusion. Wasn't one of my favorites.
Fine.
Reality Bites.
I graduated.
Not a favorite.
I graduated college that year that it came out, so it spoke to me.
Yeah. I mean,
to me,
it's good, but like there's so many other movies that are similar that I like better, I think.
Yeah.
Singles, kind of the same thing.
Okay, right.
Boys in the Hood.
Fine. It's fine.
All right. Pump Up the Volume.
I don't remember this.
Not the top 15.
Right.
Do the Right Thing.
Isn't that
Heathers?
Yeah. Heathers, it was okay. It was all right.
War Games.
I mean, okay. Risky Business, yes.
Absolutely. Risky Business for sure.
And Fast Times
and Fast Times.
Yes, without question. Okay, so what would you add to the list?
Well, if we're really looking at the period of 1980 to say 1999, there's no better movie that ever existed during that time period than Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah,
period. The end.
I think that's like you and I became friends. Like it was like a Step Brothers moment when one of our first conversations. We were like, oh my God, Shawshank was like my favorite movie. Did we just become best friends like that? So I can agree with you that Shawshank is one of the best movies of that era ever. However, that same year, Forrest Gump was made. And that's a tough call because both of those movies are excellent. They just happen to be made in the same year. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Forrest Gump ran away with a lot of the awards that year and Shawshank didn't. I was robbed.
Totally robbed.
Yeah. So that was it was a very painful year for me because that's when I still actually gave a crap about movies.
Yeah.
And so that was one of them. And then I also, I can't remember the year. I probably should know this because I know we're talking about years. I should probably look it up. But well, I'm sure it was in the 90s, but Goodfellas is one of my favorites.
Yeah, and Casino, that was like all of those in that same time frame. They were such classics.
Goodfellas is a classic for me. I think in the 80s and 90s, if you're a girl, you have to see Beaches.
Oh yeah, you
have to see Beaches. Like I saw that my senior year of high school, and I have never cried so hard as I have like I did in that movie. And then like Steel Magnolias is another one for girls. Like it's just a classic movie. Top Gun is a classic. Like Top Gun is Americana. Like you have to have that on the list. But then there are also ones like Say Anything. 16
or any John Hughes, like literally all of them,
right? All of the John Hughes movies, like 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, all those movies. I think that they personified Gen Xers. They personified our age group. I mean, I feel like Pretty in Pink, they all were like our age group. And then I'll add to that, like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Grosse Point Blank. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
I really love that movie. Before I found out that John Cusack was just a complete commie.
Yeah.
I love movies that he was in, like Grosse Point Blank and High Fidelity. I love those movies.
What's the one that he did with Kate Beckinsale? Serendipity. I really love that one too.
Really, really cute movie. And then I think this was in 2000, but it's one of my favorite movies. It's on my top like 5 favorite movies of all time, but it's Almost Famous.
Oh yeah, it's a great one. I think that might have just missed the cusp of this discussion.
It was 2000.
Yeah.
It was 2000. And then I see somebody else saying like Pretty Woman is one, and Dirty Dancing and Roadhouse. Dirty Dancing is like our how many times did you see Dirty Dancing?
Oh, a billion. Like I could recite it. If you put it on right now, I could say the movie with it.
I think I saw it in the movie theaters like 9 times with my friends. And then When Harry Met Sally is another one.
Love that movie.
Classic movie. City Slickers. People are saying I love it. Terminator.
Footloose.
Classic.
Footloose. Are you kidding? Can I tell you some of mine? Because I know you're looking at the audience, but I haven't told any.
Yes, please go. Please go.
I mean, other than Shawshank, which is of course like the very, very best one. But I feel like they're outside of the genre that we're sort of talking about. Spinal Tap.
Oh my God, of course. You got to have Spinal Tap.
You have to have Spinal Tap, right?
And Best in Show. Was Best in Show?
I don't know.
It's the same
genre.
People. Right. The same people that did it. But Spinal Tap is a classic.
E.T.
E.T. was E.T.
Phone Home. Raiders of the Lost Ark. That was that era. What else did I? Purple Rain, which was one of my favorites. Maybe that's not like an Oscar winner, but
it was indicative of the era.
Yeah. And then the coming of age movies like Stand By Me and Goonies, right? Like some of those, you just can't. You can't leave them out.
Everything. Yeah.
And then Dead Poet Society.
Yes.
Was also Goodwill Hunting. Like those are.
I think that one is Goodwill Hunting. Like even I think that may be in that. Is that?
It's in that. Yeah.
It's in that that bracket. God, I love that movie.
I know.
It's such a great. Did you say Goonies? People are saying Goonies.
Yeah.
Goonies. Yeah.
Yeah. That and Stand By Me, they go together for me somehow. And then on a more serious note, Sophie's Choice was also just an epic one. And then there's a movie, and this barely made the cut, but I remember it because my husband and I went to go see it, and then we went to dinner afterwards, and we did not speak the entire dinner. We were wrecked. We left the theater in tears. We sat at dinner and only spoke to the waitress. We were just wrecked. And it was $1 Million Baby with Hilary Swank and Clint Eastwood. There's nothing that I can't think of a movie right now that has wrecked me harder than that movie.
Really?
Oh my God.
I was
destroyed by it.
Yeah. That's God, there's so many. Princess Bride. Princess Bride.
Oh, Rocky Horror Picture Show. Did you ever do that?
Oh my God. Yes. Rocky Horror Picture Show. Oh my God, you guys. Yes. The Sandlot. Also one that every boy should see. The Sandlot. I mean, girls should see it too. And then the Rocky series. Like Rocky, are you kidding me? Did you know that Sylvester Stallone just did, there's like a little, I think it's on Netflix. It's a Sylvester. Honestly, I don't remember what it's called, but it's basically about him and his career.
Oh, really?
And it's so good. He's so endearing.
Okay, I would have watched that. Had you not said that?
Yeah, it's really good. It's just about him and how and his career and like his family life and stuff like that. I really like him. He's like he's good. And his brother is a super uber conservative. Did you know that, Frank Stallone?
I did not. Oh yeah, you did tell me that before. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that
Airplane, that's a great one. Airplane. And Field of Dreams. Oh yes.
Field of Dreams was great. And then what's the one with Kevin Costner and the oh God, you guys,
Dances with Wolves.
Oh my God. When I was younger, I didn't appreciate that movie. But now, as I'm an adult, I watch it and I'm like, it's everything. It's so
good.
It's
so good.
I really appreciate it. Yeah. St. Elmo's Fire, you guys.
There's just so many good ones.
And the movies now suck, right? They suck. It's hard to just come up with a list of 10 or 15. It's like so many.
It is.
You have to like introduce your kids to all of these fantastic movies. We could go on and on. There's so many.
Oh my gosh, we could go on forever, which is why that was a schlong. But
I know. So good, you guys. So good.
All right, let's get to your double D.
Okay, so first of all, you need to subscribe to our podcast. Make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're putting us in your pocket every single day. Okay, do that.
Do it.
And then also, Sports Illustrated. It's so stupid now. It's like you and I could be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Well, we couldn't probably because we're conservative, so they wouldn't allow us. But
no, they wouldn't.
It used to be kind of like, speaking of the 80s, it used to be that back in the day, they would have beautiful women on the cover who were models. And I don't know why and when it became a bad thing for that to happen. Like, why are we now saying, no, you can't do that? You can't have,
or why they're even like diluting. They have a bunch of different covers. Like they have more than one cover. And I'm like, the whole thing was to be like picked as the cover swimsuit model. Right. And now they have like 10. And what's the point of that?
And they're not, and they're just regular women, which I mean, I guess, are we supposed to celebrate? We're supposed to celebrate that. Now we're supposed to celebrate Gayle King on the cover of Sports Illustrated. That's Oprah's best friend. And she's like 67 years old or something, I think. I think that's right.
Is she that old? I thought she was like 60. But
she's 60 something.
Okay.
I never in a million years thought I would be standing here in a bathing suit, Sports Illustrated, but here I am, which says to me that sometimes people can dream, God can dream, the universe can dream, a bigger dream than you can ever think for yourself. I would have never thought this was possible. This was nowhere on my bucket list. So
it wasn't on any of our bucket lists.
I didn't even know I wanted, because now
none of us.
I want it bad.
Oh, the model! To the model!
What are we doing?
Oh, yeah! Oh! She's arrived! Chin up!
I don't. Yeah, and you're right. I don't think God dreamed that. I don't. It was just like I just don't know what we're doing now. I don't know what that is. I know, are we supposed to be? There's a bunch of different models, and
this makes sense. Kate Upton always makes sense, right?
Totally.
She's sort of like that traditional aspirational model.
Swimsuit model. She was the swimsuit model.
Right? Yeah. Chrissy Teigen is back apparently on her second cover.
No,
and
but
then
I thought we canceled her. We canceled her for bullying.
We tried.
I thought we did that, and she's back.
She's back. And so too are very plus size women. Hunter McGrady.
Okay.
This is her 6th time brand appearance, but the first time on the cover. And this was apparently like 8 months after she gave birth. So that's another of the covers. And then of course, Gayle King, who we already
69. She's
mentioned.
69 years old. Yeah. So it's a 60th anniversary celebration of all of these women who, I mean, it's fine. I just thought I'd point that out because it used to be that you were a swimsuit model and that's what you did. And now it's like anybody can be a model.
Right.
What if anybody can be a model, then nobody really is. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well,
right.
What is that? Yeah. I miss the days like in the 90s where you had the supermodels and listen, I'm sure people would argue with me and say that's aspirational. They're not normal. Okay. They're not. They were like glamazons. I'll never look like them, but it still was like they cover magazines, and like that's what they did. That was their literal job. And I was never going to have that job. I didn't want to look like them, but they were different, and that's what made them special. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Totally agree. I am behind on the thank yous. So before we get to talks, let us go through those really quick. Alexandra, thank you. She says the M&Ms, the White House M&Ms, probably taste like Alzheimer's. And then Karen Elliott, thank you. Karen said KJP is the struggle bus driver.
She is indeed.
BTK, thank you. BTK says the economy fell into recession and Dems changed the definition. The Dems in 22 donated to Republicans and ran Dems and voted for them in the primaries. David McKinney, thank you. David says St. Elmo's fire should be on the list. Yeah. Karen Elliott again says we do a family watch party every week with long distance family members. You all just helped me with our watch list. Perfect.
Oh, yay. Yay.
Jessica Simon, thank you. Jessica says our movies were great, and that's the reason they're remaking them. Fair. And David McKinney says Mock rubs her leg on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I would buy it. You would buy this pose right here.
Puts it way up there. Yep.
All right, let's do some talks, because I have discovered another TikTok trend, and this one I am absolutely crazy about. I'm going to try it with Maisie, because I think Maisie will do it. Ella will not do it. I just think she'll think we're dumb for even thinking about it. But here is the trend, and I've got a few different examples.
Have you ever just look at someone and say, so this is what love looks like?
Oh my God. I have to try that and see if any of our dogs do it.
You have to try it.
Oh
so
my God.
It works. It's working with these. Look at this one. Here's another.
Have you ever just look at someone and say, so this is what love looks like?
Oh my gosh. You think Maisie would do it?
I think Maisie would do it. I think Ella would just be like, I'm not playing your dumb game.
I think Theo Mushbear would do it.
Really?
Yeah. He's
you
all
have
in.
To try it.
He's all in on the new family. He's like, oh, I'm in. Are we doing this? Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, one more. And then I have to show you another sweet, 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 sweet dog. But look at this fellow.
What should I do?
So happy.
Oh my God, I just love these. Okay, I love this trend.
Right? Best trend ever.
Just love it.
It's so sweet. At the risk of this having to get cut out later because there's music, I hope this isn't copyright music, but it could be. Maybe I'll just play a little bit of the music and then mute it. This is a dog, a husky, who apparently hears a baby in the womb and it's reacting to it. And I cannot. You guys just can't deal with how precious it is. Did you see that? It's like he heard something. Or maybe he felt it with his little paw. I gotta mute it because I'm worried I don't want to have to take this down. I mean, look at his face.
My gosh. You have to send this to me immediately.
Isn't it the best?
Oh my, that is just the sweet.
Oh, his face.
My heart can't take it. My heart is going to explode. I can't take it. It's going to explode in my chest. I can't.
Oh my God.
That is the sweetest thing.
It's unbearable.
You know,
it's unbearable.
It's always the dogs you never expect that would be like so into your baby, you know? Like, because when we had Zeke, I was like, Zeke's not going to give a crap. It's going to be Tessie, my sweet baby girl, that's going to be in love with Gwen in the womb. I mean, Tessie could not care less, right?
Really?
But Zeke was like, he was obsessed with my belly. And then when she came out, he was obsessed with her. You know what I mean? Like they know, man. They know.
Oh,
it's
God, I
crazy.
Love that so much.
Love it.
I know. Lori Herget, thank you so much. Lori says Savannah Smiles from 1982. Such a great storyline. I love it to this day. I haven't seen that one. I'll have to look for that. And then Eugene Heiger, thank you. He says, I vote for Mock and Daisy for SI.
Oh my gosh. That would be
not
great.
Gonna happen. Don't hold your breath for that. Okay. And then also because babies. Well, actually, I'm going to save the baby and the cat for last. I just wanted to play a hilarious clip from Mike Tyson. And it's super short, but he's such a ridiculous human. You know what I mean?
He really is ridiculous.
And this is perfect example. Oh, you're going to need to hear it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Hang on.
What's one thing you wish people understood about you more?
Nothing. Nothing. No. Fuck you.
I mean, like what? Okay.
Oh my.
It's like nice. It was nice talking to you. It was really
Thanks,
nice
Mike.
Thanks, Mike, for that insight. That super.
Oh my God. Also, I relate to this girl. I relate to her so much. And she gets, I mean, I know she's putting on an act and she's very good at it, but I relate to every last word that's coming out of her mouth.
The problem with working out is that it makes you more hungry. And I
Yes.
understand that we're supposed to just go and eat some fish and some chicken and veggies and just eat lots of it, right? But that's not what happens. I made tacos tonight and I had 3 tacos. And that's like normally like my whole meal, but like I was still hungry.
Right.
So I had a 4th taco and then I was like, okay, I have to stop now, even though I'm still hungry.
So me. So me.
I had a Pop-Tart, but that's not all.
Yeah.
Then now you can buy those rolls of cookie dough.
Oh yeah.
I ate a half of a roll of cookie dough.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the bad news. I'm still hungry.
Yeah. That's so me. Welcome to menopause. Welcome.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
you're-
I
and
love
then you're
that she's crying.
It's so true. And then you're like, how have I gained this weight? I don't understand.
I work out.
I work out. What's happening? I totally work out. I walked for a half hour. God.
Oh my gosh. Also, you got to be careful when you're holding babies and they sneeze because sometimes they need protection.
He's laughing.
Are you okay?
She's laughing. Look at her. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
I just love that so much.
Gosh, that's so funny.
And then for people who are in corporate world, in the corporate world, you will relate to this one.
I've realized that anytime somebody tells me to do something, I'm going to say, fuck off.
I gotta send that to my daughter-in-law. I'm writing it down.
That's okay, and then the last one.
That's where she's at.
This is for you, especially because it's a cat. I've never ever seen a cat do this, but when you give when I had a cat, I didn't really give her treats. Like she didn't care about treats. They're not particularly, or she wasn't.
Give any of your animals treats. You don't. She's not a treat person. You guys.
No, they do get treats. They just don't get normal treats. My girls get carrots and ice cubes as treats, and they love it.
my dogs get Cheetos. Meanwhile, in the Clark house, here's an Oreo dog. Yeah. Honestly.
Oh my gosh. But cats, because they're not as usually as food driven as dogs, it's just not like they don't get super excited about treats. This cat opens its mouth ahead of getting treats. And I have never seen that.
That's not normal? That's not normal.
I've never, ever, ever seen this happen. It is hilarious.
Yeah.
He's so cute. I want him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never, ever, ever seen that. Ever.
Oh my God, he's so cute.
I mean, he's pretty cute. He's pretty cute.
He's so cute. I need one.
Yeah.
You guys, I need to get a cat.
Oh
So somebody said, Sheila Laugh says, my sister's cats love corn on the cob.
Seriously? That's super unusual. I think.
Very unusual.
Right?
Yeah.
That's...
Who doesn't love corn on the cob, though? I ask you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to know a person.
I don't want to know
it.
you if you don't like corn on the cob. I mean, it's like a delicacy. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Anyway, those are your talks for today.
You know what? I would get the dogs in here and everything, but I have to pee.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we kept the show relatively short today.
Right. We're going to bring it in and then I'm going to run to go pee. You guys, it's Thursday. We're on the downhill slope.
One more day.
Tomorrow is Friday. It's a good day. It was a good day today too. And hope everybody enjoys it. Has a wonderful day. And we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye everybody.